Fladem, Fladem, maybe, is the diarist over at Daily Kos, asks the question, and I think this is a really important one, and I'd like to ask it of you and get your thoughts. He asks the question, why is racism never condemned as unpatriotic? And he points out that the number 3 Republican in the House of Representatives, a guy named Steve Scalise, right? He's the House Majority Whip. Let's see, there's John Boehner. Who's number 2 in the House, Shane? Do you know? It's Kevin McCarthy, isn't it? Yeah, Kevin McCarthy. And then Steve Scalise. Kevin McCarthy, by the way, was part of the group that met in the caucus room conspiracy on January 20th, 2009. So Steve Scalise, when he ran for his seat in the House of Representatives, David Duke, Scalise must be from what? Alabama, Mississippi? Can you look that up for me while I'm going? Louisiana? Yeah, Louisiana. That would make sense. But whatever it was, David Duke had run in that state and got a real respectable showing. Now, David Duke is a neo-Nazi who says Louisiana. Okay, so Steve Scalise is from Louisiana too. And David Duke had run and, got a respectable showing back in the day. And David Duke, of course, being a neo-Nazi who believes that, basically mixing races is a terrible thing. We should go back to segregation, blah-de-blah-de-blah. And also, his opinion of actually, David Duke's opinion of the Jews is even more virulent than his opinion of blacks. Every time, the 2 or 3 times I've tried to debate him, and I've given up. It's been a few years now. He would immediately go off on the Jews. All the bankers are Jews. All holler, blah, 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 blah. They run the world. And they're just trying to, make us fight with the blacks and blah, blah. Right. So Steve Scalise, the number 3 representative, the 3rd ranking representative in the House, Republican in the House of Representatives, when he was running for office, he said that he basically ran as a David Duke who could get elected. This is a verbatim quote. The novelty of David Duke has worn off. The voters in this district are smart enough to realize that they need to get behind someone who not only believes in the issues they care about, that would be the issues that David Duke cares about, but also can get elected. Duke has proven that he can't get elected, and that's the first and most important thing. So Fladem then says, let's try a thought experiment. What if he, instead of saying David Duke, he had said ISIS or communism? Why is it that in the United States of America, inside the Republican Party, nakedly pandering to racists, the so-called Confederate flag, it's not even the Confederate flag. I learned this from James Clyburn last night on, I think, Chris Hayes' show. The good citizens of South Carolina did not fight under the stars and bars. That was Robert Lee's flag for the Northern Virginia militia. The South Carolinians fought under a completely different flag. That flag only went up over South Carolina in 1962 in response to forced busing as a consequence of Brown v. Board and all the conversations that were happening about the possibility of a Voting Rights Act and a Civil Rights Act. So the Robert E. Lee's flag was put up over the, and stitched into the flag of Mississippi in the 60s as a way of saying, no, we're opposed to integration. But anyway, why is this considered patriotic?
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
Why is Steve Scalise, running as, hey, I'm a David Duke who's electable? Why would anybody consider that patriotic?